And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trials. Wild.
Huh?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
P. Diddy party. This is what happens to the white man.
It's so unfortunate.
You gotta pull back though, so they can see. That's crazy. Matt, move out the way. You're still alive. Look at that. Look. Would you?
Get a drink on his head.
And that's James from Simeon Mobile Disco. He is a actual DJs aren't supposed to pass out, but when they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to them.
I mean, everybody hung with Diddy. That's the other tricky thing. Like, Diddy hung out with everybody. And I've spoken to a bunch of people who are like, yo, great dude, like, always there for you, never asked for a single thing.
Till 1 a.m.
And then freak off.
Everybody says, get out of the house.
Yeah.
It's like the gremlins start eating after midnight.
Gotta ask you, Janice Combs, how you feel about her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-off.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs, and he knew Miss Combs, and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers and athletes.
Didn't know that your wife
got
urinated on and then found this out in court.
It's a lot.
Could you handle that?
But let me tell you, not only because he had left, he was in the back of the court and then he went, I think they took up to like a back room, but the all the Diddy kids are there, right? So his daughters are there. I was sitting behind them. It was awkward for me to watch them have to listen to all of this.
What up? How you listening? Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. Alright. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Can you reach out yet? Nah, Bob. He ghosting. Hey, this motherfucker doing it. These tweet now because I'm in here. It's all good. You about to get out on bail. Everybody out there quiet as a motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh. About all these lawsuits though, Pop. Ain't none of them getting shit. I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anyway. Don't even worry about it. But the money hungry.
Cassie reportedly claims that Diddy's mother likes to keep things in the family. She says, Janice told King and Justin that Grandma's all-you-can-eat buffet was always open to them. She'd ask, do you want a leg or a thigh? When they entered her home.
When Joe Rogan sat down to film his latest episode, it was clear from the start this wasn't going to be one of his usual laid-back, joke-filled podcasts. His tone was cold, his words were sharp, and his target, Sean Diddy Combs. What had once been whispered behind the scenes of the music industry was now being confirmed loudly in a courtroom. And Rogan had just finished going over the latest reports. I have seen a lot of messed up things come out of the entertainment world, Joe began, but what's being said in this trial, it makes your skin crawl. For years, Diddy had been surrounded by rumors, strange parties, secret properties, tight circles, and an iron grip on anyone in his orbit. But now, those rumors were being backed by witnesses under oath. The courtroom is becoming a spotlight, and what's being exposed is far from glamorous. It's calculated, it's manipulative, and it left Joe Rogan deeply unsettled. These aren't accusations from random trolls on the internet, Rogan emphasized. These are people who worked for him, people who were there, people who saw it with their own eyes. One of the first pieces of testimony that caught Rogan's attention came from a former event planner. According to the court documents, she was hired to coordinate gatherings at multiple Diddy-owned estates. But her job, she said, quickly shifted from logistics to managing secrecy. Guests were given rules the moment they walked in. No photos, no questions, no wandering. And if anyone broke the rules, they were quietly escorted off the property. No explanation, no debate. Think about that, Joe said. You're invited to a party, you show up, and suddenly it's a lockdown zone. That's not a social gathering. That's a controlled environment. Rogan then moved on to discuss the role of staff members who worked closely with Diddy. Several of them, under oath, claimed they were asked to handle special tasks without ever being told the full story. Flights were booked without passenger lists. Deliveries were made to off-the-grid properties. Schedules were adjusted without warning, and if anyone asked questions, they were warned to stop. There's a reason this stuff is finally surfacing now, Joe said, because for years these people were afraid of losing their jobs, their reputations, their safety. Ihren Cyber were what? One particular segment of the trial that made Rogan visibly uncomfortable was the testimony of a former driver. He recounted being sent to pick up young artists and influencers, often late at night, and being told not to speak to them. He said they looked confused, even scared, like they didn't know where they were going or why. That's chilling, Joe said, leaning in. Imagine being 19, just breaking into the industry, and the guy with all the power sends a car for you, but you're not allowed to ask where you're going, and no one will tell you what you're walking into. That's not mentorship. That's manipulation. Rogan didn't hold back when it came to discussing Diddy's influence over the media. This guy didn't just build a brand, he said. He built a fortress. Every time someone tried to raise concerns, there was a PR team ready to spin it. And if that didn't work, legal threats, settlements, silence. Joe pulled out an article that surfaced during the trial, an internal memo from a media firm hired by Diddy years ago. The memo outlined strategies for image recovery and crisis redirection, including tactics to discredit potential accusers and steer headlines away from damaging stories. They literally had a playbook, Joe said, a guide on how to keep the public distracted while the real story stayed buried. But the courtroom evidence is doing what spin doctors can't. It's forcing people to face the truth. Rogan read from transcripts that described hidden contracts, questionable payments, and NDAs handed out like candy. In one case, a young musician was flown across the country for a private meeting, only to be handed a non-disclosure form before even entering the building. This is how power operates when no one's watching, Joe said, and it's exactly why we need people to speak out. As the trial moves forward, more individuals are stepping forward, people who once stayed silent, now ready to talk. One former choreographer testified that young artists were routinely pushed beyond their limits, not just physically, but mentally. They were promised fame and success, but were instead placed in high-stress situations with little support and zero oversight. These aren't just workplace complaints, Joe said. This is exploitation masked as opportunity. Rogan made it clear that Diddy's actions, if proven true, represent more than personal misconduct. They reflect a larger problem in the entertainment industry. It's not just about one man, he said. It's about the culture that let him thrive. It's about the system that rewards silence and buries the truth. Joe blasted the major labels and corporate partners that continued to work with Diddy even as red flags piled up. Where were the background checks? Where were the executives who were supposed to be protecting young talent? They turned a blind eye because the money kept flowing. He also questioned why it took a courtroom to finally bring everything to light. People have been talking for years, whispers, rumors, suspicious behavior. It was all out there, but no one with power wanted to listen. Now that it's in court, suddenly everyone's shocked. Give me a break. As Rogan wrapped up the episode, he addressed young artists directly. If you're just getting into the industry, let this be a lesson. Never let anyone treat you like you're replaceable. Never sign something without reading it. And never stay quiet just to keep a connection. He announced that his team would be donating proceeds from the episode to legal aid groups that support whistleblowers in the creative world. There are people out there right now who want to speak up but don't have the resources. We're going to help change that. In the final moments of the podcast, Joe's tone shifted from anger to resolve. The truth is ugly. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary because the only way to clean this industry up is to shine a light on the darkest corners. He leaned back in his chair, paused for a long moment, and said, "We can't unhear what was said in that courtroom, and we shouldn't. Now it's time to act."